Hey, hey, Stephen, Jack, and Danette. Uh, I wasn't going tonight, but I saw Bob isn't on, and we decided to do Wednesday because Bob would be on today, but he's not. So I don't know what's going on. Let me post the link and get it to all the places. Wrong link. So I did have a lot going on in the bee yard. But let me take care of all this. Pin. All right. And let me put this on Facebook, No Life Group. Hey, Tiny Creek. A few people. That's cool. Let me just do a few more things. All right. I just posted it in the No Life Group. Well, in the process. And one more. All right. See how many other people find me. All right. Oh, there's Dennis. And yeah, just to get things started, this past week, just probably in the past, let me see, 3, 6, 7 days, 9 days, I've had three hives swarm on me. I caught all three. Well, one of them, I was out, actually, all three of them, I was out there, but um, I did some chattering, banged on some metal, a hive tool, and on a concrete, and they flew back in the hive. And then I moved the queen. So that one, they didn't really swarm. I just moved them, and then they actually 3 days later swarmed twice and flew back in. Played that swarm game that they had to swarm still, but with no queen because I had the queen. Um, and it had a virgin, and I took that virgin out and I cut 19 cells out of that hive and did on that day I did six, no, it was a 8-way, so I did 7 splits. I made 7 new hives. Then 3 or 4 days later, that was hive number 14. Hive number 12 swarmed. I caught that one in my oak tree, so I got her in another hive. That hive had 11 cells. 5 of the 11 have merged out. Um, but there's 4 cells left. They still could have merged. They're still valid. Um, should be good cells, possibly. You never know when you cut them out. Try to be fragile as possible. Hey, Mike. Hey, James. Then a few days ago, um, hive number 4 swarmed, and she's a grafted queen. I grafted back in April Fool's Day or the day after. I think it was April Fool's. And I have it down that she was made it confirmed on April 27th. Well, hive number 4 still has one, two, three, 4 boxes on top well, I had four honey boxes on top of the single brood box. Hey, Billy. Hey, Russell. And I did 2 splits off of that one, and was able to cut 2 cells. Both of those have emerged, and I made splits out of them. But altogether, between the three swarms, I pulled the honey off of them, and I've made so far 14 splits. So using those three hives, they have hives to split from, and plus I have 7 resource hives that I've created with swarms and when I grafted. So I've been busy. So every one of my 12 6/6 um, nukes, frame nukes, now have 10 of them have cells in them or virgin queens in them by now in some stage. Um, one of them has a new queen that when I grafted from back in April, and one of them is a swarm that I caught. Then I have my 6 frame grafting box. I was going to graft in it, but now I don't need to graft because I've cut, I guess I've cut 11, then I cut 9, and then I cut 2. So I've cut 22 cells, and I was going to graft about 25. So I'm good to go. And then I have 2 4-frame nukes that I got splits in, and now I've started. I did a 6-frame, 2 4-frame, and now I have 2 3-frame 3-way boxes, deep boxes, and my last split I did in that. And I actually did that split today because last night one of my queens emerged out. So I've been really busy doing splits. I can do, let me see, 2, 3, that's 4. Plus I have 4 in my Ricky's horizontal hive. So I can do 8 more splits in woodenware. No, I got a double 4-framer that's in a 10-frame box. So that gives me I say 8. So I can do 10 more splits. And I have 11 more cells that they all grafted out. But 6 of the cells I use a egg incubator, and it's got an egg countdown. So I set it when I did my cutout when it swarmed. I put it on 10 days, and now it's down to 3 days. So it's been 7 days. So if they cap the cells at 10 days, they should be emerged out today to tomorrow. So out of those 6, I'll know when it counts down 3 more days. That'll be 10 days after they swarmed, and assuming they um, closed the last few cells at that time. So those should come out in the next tonight or tomorrow or this following night. After that, they're going to be probably dead cells. The other cells I don't have it counted on. The one I got 4 cells left that I did cells cut out. Hey, Kurt. Um, um, those I still probably have about 4 or 5 more days before I realize those are dead cells. Um, no, I didn't. On all these, James, I did just the opposite. You can also put virgin queens in if you do if you make the split and put the queen in like within 10 minutes of your split. Um, there, accept that queen. In fact, I have video where I walked them right in. Um, they know when they're queenless within a minute after you move them from one hive into your mating nuke or your split. And I introduced them immediately. Actually, I had the queen out there. So as soon as I put that last cell in there, I closed the box up. Then I went back to the horizontal hive, put the 2 frames in that I took out. So there are 3-frame splits, 2 frames and then a frame of bees, 2 brood frames, emergent brood frames. Then I went back into the split and introduced the virgin queen. So they were helplessly queenless, but I never gave them a chance to even start the process of making an emergency queen cell. So that's that's the 2 best ways of doing it. You either do it immediately on the split, or you have to wait 6 days, 4 to 6 days, and destroy those emergency queen cells, so they're hopelessly queenless. One thing bad when you're doing swarm cutouts cells, you don't know the age of those cells. They could have been capped, 8 days ago, 9 days ago. They could have been capped just that hour they swarmed or when you found them. So, in fact, on one of them, hive number 12, they still had one cell that was not capped yet. It looked like it was a full cell, just wasn't capped. So it probably got capped that day. I left that cell in there for him to be made. Hey, collector Rick. So since I can't wait 6 days after a queen comes out to make a queen helplessly queenless, I do it immediately on the split. So it works. I've done it many, many times. Put the queen in as soon as you make the split. You don't have to wait. It's amazing how fast bees find out that they don't have their queen. I mean, it only takes 30 seconds, a minute, and they know they're queenless. I'm going to adjust my camera just a little bit. I got KC. So how many people are on here right now? 32 watching. That's pretty good for no notice whatsoever. And if Bob does get on, let me know. I'm only kind of filling in because nobody was on today. So that's the two ways you can introduce virgins. So I did a little short. I think it's 3 minutes long because the queen took a while to walk out of the curling cage into the frame, and you see that they accepted her and she went right in. Also, they had a little bit of honey right there in the cap that the bees were happy that they found some food. So it kind of works. It's kind of like a win-win. Hey, Joey, they have a little food and they have a new virgin queen. So the first set of splits I did, I'll be checking most of these hives about the end of the month. So my goal is have queens and the 12 6/6 12 frame nukes for going into winter. So right now I have 4 backups in case one of them doesn't make it through the mating flight. I only had issues on robbing on 2 of them, which I caught probably within a half an hour of the robbing starting, because I was watching that when I made these graphs because they weren't the biggest. When I made these splits, graph splits, they weren't the biggest splits, the first few. Because I made 7, I did this 8-way split with that first hive. So I took all but 1 brood frame and stripped that hive all the way down. 2 of those hives, 12 and 14, are the Corey Stevens VHS queens. So luckily I still have both of those queens. And actually, when I go into the hives, I'm going to be clipping and remarking them if they're not marked. Since they're blue, since they're this year queens, with clip their wings so they can't fly away. What caused this? Since one of the issues of doing single brood management is pollen, and up to 3 weeks ago, hey Keith, up to 2 weeks ago, they were working. The hives were perfect. They had first frame was a pollen frame. Then the next 8 frames to 9 frames were brood frames with some honey in the corners and a little bit of pollen in the corners. And then the last frame, some of them had brood in it, a little patch of brood, and then honey mostly around it. And they were going all season, just set up that way. And the queen was just going back and forth between frame 2 and frame 9, basically. Sometimes frame 10. Then we have my little community where I live. planted. I don't know. These trees are probably about 15 feet tall, 20 feet, 15 to 25 feet tall. And there must be 30 or 40 of them. And they're called the Japanese lilac tree. I should pull it up if I could. No, I don't have a picture of it. They have a big flower and they put out a ton of pollen. Well, it bloomed 2.5 weeks ago, and I watched the bees bringing in a ton load of this orange pollen. In fact, I made a video of it, of Hive 15. Um, hey, Jason, Hive 15 was bringing the pollen in, and at the same time, bees were carrying the pollen out and dropping it on the ground right in front of the hive. So they were managing the hive very well of not accepting that pollen. Bees were bringing it in, but they were taking it out as fast as they were bringing it in. And I made a little video on that. I don't know if I released that video yet, um, but we had a 5 days 5 days uh, sunshine, and then we ended up with 4 days, 5 days of rain. So nothing happened during those 4 or 5 days, and then we had 3 days of sunshine, almost four, 3.5, and that's when all the swarming started on that second week. Nancy just texted me, then said we weren't going to do a live today, but we're going to do one tomorrow still at 7 o'clock. I only did this because Bob wasn't on. No Bob live, so we might go back to Tuesdays. I'm checking it right now. Yeah, I don't see anything from Bob Walker. Walker Bee Ranch. I'm gonna go on his site. Nope, he's got nothing posted live. So Nancy, I'm just filling in because Bob's not on tonight. So I just went on just to fill in for a Tuesday night. So if you want to jump on, I pinned it. We can do it back to back a little bit today and a little bit tomorrow. So I went and looked to see who was if Bob was live at 8 o'clock, and I went to his site and saw he never posted it. So, all right, Nancy, no problem. Maybe somebody else will join. She's crashing. She said she was going to crash tonight. That's one reason she didn't want to go live on Tuesday. And actually, it kind of works out because we're all part of the No Life. And Bob does Tuesdays and Wednesday. There's no lifers doing a YouTube live stuff for the stream team, but they're not no lifers. They're stream teamers. So it kind of works. Hey, Pete. So yeah, that's pretty much what I've been up to. I haven't pulled. I pulled the honey off of hives 12, 14, and 4 because those are the ones that swarmed. And each one I got about 40 pounds. On 4, I haven't. I put the. It was only a small swarm on 4, and there was still a lot of bees in there. I think they only did about a 25% swarm with the mated queen, and I put all three supers back on, which you can see. I took this hive number 4 is right there. So I got a deep and 2 supers on it right now after it swarmed. So I know I pulled 40 from the deep and I put it back wet. And then I put the 2 supers back on, and this one super probably was half full, so there's probably another 20 pounds there. So I probably got 60 pounds off of that hive once I pull everything. Hive 12 and 14 were nukes that I picked up on April 27th. Randy was there at Cayman Reynolds pickup. Corey Stevens / Chris Warner's nukes. And they both had about 40 pounds of honey on them, which ain't bad for a nuke. in late April. Um, so I'm leaving them on for about the end of the month. Um, I have a tree in my neighborhood, and there's at least 80 of them within less than a mile. Let's put it that way. Anywhere from a half mile to a mile, there's at least 80 of them, and they're all, I would say, 50 years or older trees. They're pretty mature trees, and that's the linden tree, the basswood tree. And I just drove by one today, and it wasn't blooming yet. It usually blooms right around the summer solstice to July 1st, the last week of June in my area. And my guess is, since everything's been late this year with the spring, it's going to be probably blooming the last week of June. So I don't pull anything until that honey, until that tree blooms. That's one of the top, I would say, three honey trees. Between the top blue tree, or whatever, no, not that one, the black gum that we have in my area. I don't have any in my property. In fact, I don't even know where one is, but they're native. The black locust tree, the basswood tree, and the number one tree that used to be a long, long time ago was a chestnut tree. And a lot of people don't realize, but chestnut tree is related to the buckeye tree. It was a huge honey producer. Those chestnut trees are giant trees. They get, I mean, I've seen pictures where they're 10, 12-foot diameter trees, 15-foot diameter trees. I think they used to get up to about 200 feet tall. So I'd have to look that up, the chestnut tree. I have a few, I think I have four of them in my yard, but they're all anywhere from 4 or 5 feet tall to about 12 feet tall that I made from Dustin chestnut trees probably 6, 7 years ago. All right, Nancy said her linden trees are blooming. So they use, like I said, they usually bloom right around this time of the year. So they should be blooming soon around my area. And the clay, I mean, and hey clay, that's what I meant to say. Trying to blend it all together. And the clover's been really good this year. So I'm going to pull some of it. Like I said, at the end of the month, right after the linden tree, basswood tree bloom, then I'll probably put at least one leave the queen excluder on and put, or I'll probably leave the queen excluder on. No, I'll probably take it off. I'll put a super, I'll leave the queen excluder on and put a super on it with the deep and see if they fill up just with this in this fall, the deep and a medium super. I'll put the super on first, then the deep. So, because that's what I usually like to keep on them for winter time. And I'll leave that one. So anything they put in the deep, then will be on top. Um, I'll take in the fall time because I got a feeling we might get a. This will be the first time I've never had since 2018. I've not had a fall flood. We've been like last year, severe drought, and actually just to the east side of Cincinnati, it was all extreme drought. And in my area, it was like um, really bad drought. And every year, around, I would say August 1st, the faucet turns off. And we don't get, I mean, we might get one rain in August and September and October, and not until the end of October to the November, all the rains come back again, and we get a lot of rain in November. Um, but by then, we've had a frost. We usually get our frost freeze somewhere between the second and the third week of October. Usually around the third week of October, around the 20th. And we might have a rain by then, but that's about when it starts raining, the end of October, early November. I got a feeling this year it's a little bit different this year. We might get rain. Um, if we can get rain through September, at least to the middle of September, that would be awesome. Since we've had so much rain so far this year, our uh, our October and September are really September October months are really dry months. And once we get into August, the only we about one day a week we'll have about a 20 to 30% chance of a big thunderstorm, and they're real spotty. And if you're lucky, every other week you get one of these thunderstorms. They're usually not severe, but maybe some little hail and a lot of lightning. And if I can get lucky and get one of those every 2 weeks through the middle of September, I would get a good flow, goldenrod ester type flow, whatever else blooms in fall time, buckwheat and stuff like that. But keep my fingers crossed. I've never. I think 2 years ago I got two frames of on my one of my supers. I had two frames of honey. I mean that's how poor the flow is in my supers. Hey Kurt, um, see what happens. You can see it's right now being June. It's really green. Oh, I forgot to mention it's my son's birthday today. Sam, he turned 28 today. My youngest of three boys. Not boys anymore. So we celebrated on Father's Day his birthday. He's celebrating today with his girlfriend. He's been dating now for 4, maybe 5 years. I don't even know. It's been a long time. So hey, Kimberly, I hope everything's good. So yeah, so his birthday is today. Mine is this Sunday coming up. My birthday. So my wife's the following Sunday. So she's 53 weeks younger than me, 1 year and a week. So we usually go out and celebrate all three birthdays somewhere between Sam's birthday and my wife's birthday, which would be the 29th of June. That's about the time I need to start checking these splits for mated queens. So use the birthdays. Works out pretty good. So that's what's been going on. Um, I did something different this year at my yard. Um, I bought, oh gosh, I can't even tell you the name of this chemical. I bought it 2 years ago and I didn't apply it last year and I applied it this year. It's an agriculture uh, weed killer, but it doesn't kill clover and it doesn't kill um, a soybean. So I went and sprayed my yard. Actually, you see in my background, I did my front yard and I did my backyard and half of my side yard with this spray. Man, and it's working good. The clover, I did it once earlier this year, and I did it per the recommendations, number of ounces per gallon, and it didn't even bother the clover, but it didn't kill the weeds. It killed some of them, but not most of them. It didn't. And I got this one weed that's pretty invasive, creeping crawly, Charlie. I mean, the bees like it, but it crowds out the clover. So I put it 1.5, almost 2 times stronger, and it stunted the clover, but it didn't kill it, and it's definitely killing all the weeds. It actually stunted the grass too a little bit. I don't have to cut grass, so working good. Oh, okay. Bob just posted he was spitting some honey. Hey, Bob, if you want to go live, I'll jump off. I'm just filling in since you didn't go live. I didn't want, like last year, Lance and I went live not knowing that you were going live, and we moved it to Wednesday. And I saw that you weren't going today, so I went just to fill in. So let me know if you're going. Oh, there he is.
Hey, man.
Hey, Bob.
Just 100 degrees and harvesting honey. It's no fun. So
Yeah.
I pulled not much, man. I really just pulled about probably 40 frames off of two colonies. I still got my 4 really mean ones left. So, and they're pretty tall. I just haven't my days off are Tuesdays and Saturdays. And the last 3 Saturdays it's rained. So I had to get it off of there. Matter of fact, I just posted a couple little shorts on my Facebook page. Not really shorts, but small videos. I mean, it's dark out and they're cleaning the damn frames, the bee boxes that I set back outside. They're still out there. So
I went out to my bee yard for about 7 o'clock, and I go back where my 12 frame 6/6 nukes are, and I found 4 baby skunks. I put a little post out on it. It's like, oh man, I got skunks, baby ones.
I had one week colony that went queenless. I don't know, a while back. So I put a 2 frame nuke into it with a mated queen, and but it was still weak, and then it just got slimed out. So I took the remaining frames that they were on and moved them over a queenless nuke, and hope I just keep moving that queen. Hopefully she'll take somewhere. So I don't know. It's been crazy, but other than that, all my other colonies seem to be doing okay. Kind of can't see your comments over here. Hold on, let me see. Hold on.
I just put a new one. Jack and Danette had a good comment. Yeah, I got 4 skunks for sale.
But I saw somebody that had was it Malcolm McGibbon was holding a baby skunk or a skunk, and said it's kind of like a cat when it ain't spraying. Just not that.
Yeah, you can actually take them to a doctor and they can
get that scent.
Get rid of that. And I do think they make pretty good pets if you do that. I've heard of that.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd still want a skunk.
Yeah.
Skunks for sale. Hey, I've got striped kittens for sale, like Pepe Le Pew.
Yeah, Pepe Le Pew.
He was in love with the black and white cat, right? And he was a skunk.
Yeah, actually, where I got my beehives behind my barn, back in that back corner on my picture, that's all land that was. It used to be a hill. It went off pretty steep.
Right.
When I built the barn in 2019, well, 18 in the fall time, my son, I rented a 6-foot bucket bobcat skier, and we leveled that top of that hill out, and we pushed out at least a dozen large rocks that were anywhere from 4x8 by 6x12 by 4 inches by 12 inches thick slabs of rock, and actually extended my backyard out probably a good 25 yards. And that's actually where I have all my bees. But the only problem is there's little holes going beneath all those big rocks. And some years I get skunks, some years I get groundhogs, some years I get fox. You never know what. I get a different animal every year.
I saw, I don't know, it was probably some reel where the guy was going through his front yard. He said, if you have a patch in your yard that doesn't seem to fill in with grass, he said, go with a probe rod and stick it down on the ground. He says, if you go down like a foot or two, he says he almost guarantees that it's a big boulder under the ground. And then he showed him. He had it in his yard. He did it and then ended up digging it out and filling it back in and putting the sod back, and then it grew in. So
yeah. All right. Joey's on stage. Hey, Joey.
It's me again, Joey. Hey, Joey.
How y'all doing?
Hey, I was going to call you back, but they told me I couldn't sell to my friends.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hey, Dave.
I figured something like that must have happened.
Yeah, they forbid it because they feel like you're gonna. I can't change the prices in the computer, so I don't know what kind of deal they figured I'd cook up for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the reason. And I've been crazy working. I mean, I've been getting off at 6:30. Last night it was 7:30 because I got stuck on a call with somebody that just liked to talk. Must not had no friends. Just wanted to talk to Bob for a little while on the
I know
phone.
somebody like that.
Yeah.
Just wanted to talk. That was it.
Yeah.
Woo. Is it hot down there with you too, Joey?
Yeah, it's been hot.
It
Hot and humid.
it just rained and rained and rained. And Saturday I was off. I was like, all right, I get to go pull that honey on Saturday. Nope, rain. So today I pulled a few boxes in the morning, then it got up to about 100 degrees. I said, nah, we'll leave the other 4 colonies sitting there. Actually, it's 5 colonies sitting there to pull off of. And, you know, it's not going to be anywhere near what I got last year, but, you know, with the losses, I'll count my blessings that I got any honey this year, you know. So,
Yeah, we've been cool and wet, but starting Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, we're supposed to all be in the low 90s. So it's about time. We're at least 3 weeks late getting into the 90s.
if it just stayed in the 80s here, I'd be happy. Like Florida, you know, 80s with a breeze, and I'd be good. But it's just that hot. You just step outside and just sweat through all your clothes.
I just wish the humidity would stay down. I wouldn't worry about temperature too much.
See what
Yeah.
it is right now.
I've seen 80 feel actually worse with high humidity than 90 with a low one.
It's only 75% humidity here right now.
That's about what we're shooting around, right around 75.
It's
I'd have to look.
supposed to rain in the next 2 hours. Go figure.
Yeah. I
Our
think
rain
our
just
flow
ended.
here, though, with that rain is kind of, we've been getting rain every day, sometimes 2 rains a day, you know.
Did the tallow hit this year or no?
It was doing pretty good, but I think what little bit I had left
73.
got washed away.
90.
Yeah.
Bob, we're at 90% humidity right now.
You are?
That's crazy. It's
Yeah.
going to be in the 90s all week this week here. So, and then mid 90s next week, looks like.
You're worse than me then. I'm at 80 degrees, 89 humidity.
Yeah.
We're going to be in the 90s. Southwest Ohio.
It's
I'm gonna look out the 10-day. Let me look for that. Oh,
I mean,
they got
even when it didn't rain, it looked like it was going to rain.
8 days. Ooh.
So
yeah, 8 days now in the 90s in a row.
I tell you what, I used this bees technique. I've been using it, and it works like a charm. So, like when I pull my honey and I shake the bees off, you know, before they start robbing or if they start robbing, I throw those things in the back of my truck and I go driving down the road with the honey supers in there. And I'll drive a couple miles down the road and then turn around and come back. And by that time, all the bees are off the super. I just pick them up and walk them in the building.
There you go.
So
that works.
Keep them from robbing it, or they get their full bellies one time and then they have to fly home and then the truck's gone. But yeah, I think
I actually take one of my I use that Bee Gone stuff, and I use one of my lids on top of my supers, and that keeps, as I'm stacking them, I use one just to keep the robbing out.
That's kind of what we do when we're moving boxes. We'll turn the lid upside down and set the box on it, and then put another lid on top of it.
That's usually what I do, but it was too damn hot to go digging through all my equipment to find it.
Yeah.
So I was like, because those bees that I have on that side are so mean, I have to wear the full suit.
Yeah.
And it's hot with just a jacket, and you put that full suit on, and whoo!
I think I probably safely say I could pull my honey off now and not lose anything, but I think I'm still going to wait a couple of weeks. I'm just going to try to wait and do all the rest of it at one time.
I was surprised
Sheer
because
burnout.
this morning it wasn't like they went into a robbing frenzy, but when I put those empty boxes out there this evening, they sure did get on it, even with the sun going down. So
All right.
they're cleaning it up. I need to get that off there so I can go ahead and start putting some feed on to get them ready for the winter. And the beetles haven't been too bad, only on that 1 week colony. So can't complain too much with that this year. But we'll see how this winter. It's funny to even say that this winter goes and it's damn June. But what we got? 5 days to summer solstice?
Actually, yeah.
It's 22nd or 21st?
21st. Late 21st, sometime in there.
Yeah.
So 3, 4, 5 days, something like that. 4 days.
I guess you could say it starts Thursday and ends Friday for us.
Then the days start getting shorter.
Yeah.
Right.
But it was yeah, man, it's just busy. Busy around here. Well, it's probably busy for all you guys too. So, you know, getting out there. You don't have no help either, do you, Joey? It's just you most of the time.
Well, my wife helps me a lot with pulling honey. I do get out there sometimes, and when I'm just doing cherry picking, she don't help too much with that. She has though, but when I go to do the big pull, she'll probably be out there with me.
Mine's scared to get bit. I said they don't bite you; they bite with their mouth. They sting with their butt. There's two total different ends of the bee there we're talking about.
That's my wife. Every time she says, "Did they bite you?" Or that one bit me.
I got
no bite.
Look, I had gloves on, and they still got me through the glove.
Wow.
Right there.
Looks like that stinger stayed in there a little while.
Yeah, they got me a couple times on my thumb. So it's funny every time somebody wants to get honey and they haven't bought honey from me before, they'll say, "Do you ever get stung?" Yeah, like every day. Every day, just about.
Yeah.
Get stung.
Y'all just say, "Not yet."
Not yet. I've been lucky, but they got me on that side too. Both thumbs.
Let me see. I haven't been stung this past hour, so that's a good thing.
Yeah,
I know, right? I mean, if bee venom does everything they say it does, I should live for about ever. At least,
right? Yeah, I don't mind getting stung. It's good for you.
You'd mind the ones that I mean, I don't know how these bees, some of the colonies I've got, I mean, they'll curl up almost into a ball trying to just push that stinger in as hard as they can. And they'll go through denim and gloves and the strap. Matter of fact, right there, my strap that comes off my jacket went over there, stung through my glove and the strap and my hand.
In fact, I got stung about 2 hours ago in my ear.
Oh, I had one try to get in my ear one time, but I got it, ninja'd it.
I wasn't wearing any PE. Wasn't wearing my jacket or veil or gloves.
All right, so I did something.
I try not to. I only put it on when they start getting
one
bad.
of my honey supers didn't have no foundation in it, so it looks like I'm gonna have a little bit of cut comb honey this year.
There you go.
Some of it was a little bit funky looking, but most of it was at least a section of it. You know, I could cut out some maybe 2x4s out of it or something. So might have a few if somebody wants them when they come. They always ask for them, but I don't know if they would sell. They probably would sell if I had them, but I ain't never tried it. You sell it pretty good, you guys? Cut comb honey? Or you don't fool with
it? I get just enough to give away to my real regular customers, you know. That's about all I do.
Yeah, I've never sold it.
I just seem like I get too busy to mess with it.
Yeah, I just put it in the freezer tonight just for kicks and grins to see if that'll do anything. for me, but I got people that ask for it. It might just end up like chunk honey too. I might just cut up some comb and put it in a jar and then fill it with honey and sell it that way. We'll see. My sister had one, but she let it crystallize. And I'm like, well, that's no good. Well, it is. I guess you could warm it up a little bit. Just as long as you don't get the 140 and melt the wax, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's see.
Yeah. I'm trying to keep up with the comments.
What is it about a cat that'll make them just knock something right off and for no reason? They just knock it off something. Now I got to try to.
I was hammering in a post to hang my trail camera on to watch my hives during the nighttime for these skunks. And they didn't like me pounding on the steel post, the bees.
My bees don't like me doing anything. Hey, Bob, you're breathing. Zap.
How close to the hive were you?
Oh, I was about 3 feet, 2 feet.
Okay. That vibration must have been doing something to them.
Yeah. Didn't surprise me.
They thought you were
I had to
tanging.
put my jacket on to finish the job.
Yeah. That's what it was, Bob.
They thought you were tanging, so they wanted to come and.
Yeah. Well, that works, you know. I had hive number 14. I was actually looking at the hive when it started swarming. And I had my steel post and my hive tool. I had my hive tool in my hand. I had a steel post just at the end of the hive, so 10, 15 feet away. I grabbed the two, started banging it, and they went right back into the hive.
Really, I wonder what it is about that makes them do that.
Well, then it started raining too, so it was perfect.
Hey, I didn't realize
So
how many.
it rained for about 5 minutes, and then I went in there and tore the hive apart, moved the queen, and made those 7 splits off that hive.
Morris says their main flow hadn't started yet.
Wow.
Ours is done. Well, I think Canada hasn't started yet either, has it?
Up northwest, they've been so dry.
Let's see. I haven't.
Night, Nancy.
Good night.
I was trying to see.
So, yeah, I usually wait till the 4th of July, but that's because I worked and that's when I had 2 or 3 days off. But
I usually wait to that too, but we don't get those holidays off.
And I'm retired now, Bob.
So yeah, I know,
I don't
man.
know when I'm going to pull them.
Well, tell you what, my job, we don't get it. I think we get Thanksgiving and Christmas Day as like
wow.
shut down. Yeah, they're open all the time. But hey, you know, I'm all patriotic. Don't get me wrong. But if they want me to work in this double time and a half on the 4th of July, count me in because that's like $50 an hour. I'll be sitting right there. Listen to people.
You can buy all the turkey dinners you want to after that.
Heck yeah. We'll do it.
There you go.
Look at that. Even got them right.
Hey, when I was in construction, that's the way we used to do it. They'd have them shutdowns a lot of times in that, like the paper mill here at home.
Mm-hmm.
We'd work 3 months building up to the shutdown, and then when the shutdown come, everybody else was off for the holidays, and we were working.
Getting all the money.
Collector Rick, talking about bears, I'll post it. We get a bear cutting through our Cincinnati area about once every dozen years.
In Lorraine,
Claremont County has bears, and that's just that's the east side of Cincinnati. So they're getting closer.
I used to live in Lorraine, Ohio. I guess Lorraine, Ohio, and it's probably in Lorraine County, I would imagine. I don't know. I was little, but
yeah,
we used to.
They're in Adams, and now they're getting into Claremont County. which is counties on the east side of Cincinnati.
Oh Lord, I'm tired.
It's just a matter of time. And I live next to three forests: is the Shawnee Lookout Forest, the Great Miami Whitewater Forest, and the Mount Airy Forest. So they're big enough. All three of them are big enough to harbor some bears.
Hopefully, in the next few weeks, I'll get myself some new glasses.
That's good, DC.
Will admit
I don't want to have any. I don't have to worry. I don't want to put up any of those electric fences.
You gonna get your bear fence?
Yeah, I don't need them yet. Maybe in 10, 20 years, but I won't care by then.
All right, I gotta ask you a question. It's none of my business, but I'm gonna ask you anyway because you talked about being retired. Are you pensioned like old school where you have a pension, or is it just the 401k that you were able to squirrel away?
Just a 401k.
All right. I
And
didn't
no
know.
pensions.
I guess gone are those days unless you work for the state, right?
Right.
Or a teacher or something.
Pretty much.
I probably won't have to touch it. My wife worked full time, so between our two Social Securities, and she's got a small pension that she gets being a teacher.
Right.
That money, both my wife's and I have money in the 401k is probably just going to sit there, which would be a
Pass it
good
down.
thing.
That's generational wealth, Tom. The kids and
I was an
grandkids get
electrical
it.
engineer, so I make decent money.
I know. I'm just saying that's what they call generational wealth when you got enough saved up where you don't have to spend it and your kids get it.
Right. And making a few dollars beekeeping now, since I don't really buy that much anymore. And I'm not getting any bigger. I'm just staying what I'm doing.
Right. Just keeping a certain number and replacing them as needed. And
Right. I think I might buy about 20 more medium frames and maybe a few more medium supers, and that's about it. Two of my hives got two deeps on them now because I ran out of medium supers.
Did either of you guys try that simple comb this year? Was it called simple comb? The little plastic folder things?
I bought some 2 years ago. It's still sitting on the shelf right there.
Well, they're working good for you, Joey.
Yeah.
No. I'll just go ahead. I got 7 or 8 frames that I did this year that I got in my medium supers, but I got them spread out on different supers. So I don't know how many I got comb on them yet. It's not until I pull the honey this year. And I'll just make 2x4 cuts and put them in plastic containers.
That's I don't think mine are thick enough unless I do the small 2x4 ones. So I couldn't because of natural comb shape, right? It's not, they didn't square it off and all that on there. So I might be able to cut out, could get maybe a 4x4 out of the middle of one of them. I just don't know that it would be, as thick as some that I've seen out there. So I don't even know if it'll be worth it. But I got it in the freezer right now just to make sure that it ain't got no critters in it.
Right.
And then I don't know. Hopefully Saturday, it's not supposed to rain, but this Saturday I'll go out and sweat some more and pull some more and spin it out. I really cannot let it sit like I can't pull the supers and leave them in my building for like a couple of days and come back. They'll be slimed out. I'll have to spin them ahead of time, or just spin them right away and then strain them and bucket them. Hey, James, good to see you. I see you.
James, yeah. Bob and Joey, you would not like me. I've actually seen a couple small hive beetles this year.
Oh, really?
I think I saw 2 the other day.
I bought this.
One didn't make it. One survived.
To cut comb. And I don't even think I'm going to have any to cut this year.
Is that you got the Hive Life? I mean, Navi.
I actually bought this at Sam's. It was in the grilling
like
department.
Baking cooling rack or something.
Yeah, but it sets just above the bottom of the pan where when you cut it, you can let it drain.
You know, that would be good to set a turkey on at Thanksgiving to get all the excess little oil off the bottom of it.
I think that's actually what it's made for, something like that.
Hey, Russell Koopman.
But it
And
would
then
work.
Brian and Jen. Well, that's good.
Yeah, Brian, that's what I just got done doing, spinning out a little bit, 2 buckets worth. So
Right.
can't
I
complain.
did this 4 hives at Swarms. So
I think I've only well, 5 gallon pails is what, 300 pounds or 200? Yeah, 300 pounds, right?
60
yeah,
pounds
roughly.
per bucket.
I fill them up as far as I can, right to the bottom of that little middle strainer. That's where it usually gets full. Then I pull the strainer off and put the lid on. So I guess that's probably 5 gallons or close to it.
Yeah, that's probably to the bottom of one of those strainers, like
the one, yeah, the round metal ones that have the thing to sit on the edge of the bucket.
Oh yeah, that's close to like 4.5 maybe.
All right, well, then I probably got, I don't know, 200, 280, 290 pounds, something like that, probably. Not a lot.
Yeah.
How's the uncapper's good, man. Actually, I feel like I get to use it a little bit more this year because my comb has been a little bit fatter, so it has actually sheared a lot off, but I'm still finding myself using a little roller to uncap the low spots. But whatever. One day I'll get it to where it just cuts everything off and I don't have to worry about it. Or, you know, I'll sell this one and buy the big one that's got the little Simple Harmony thing after it goes through the blades. And then when I get the big bucks, whenever that is, who knows? I'm telling you, when my wife told me to buy that Lyson mini line, I should have bought that son of a gun and just not looked back at it. But I said, no, I don't really need that now. And now I wish I had the thing.
Well, what's the brand you got now?
Oh, it's Lyson, but I have the Lyson uncapper, right, with the handle that you crank through with the heated blades. I've got that one.
Yeah.
And then I've got the 30 frame, 32 frame, whatever, 30 frame extractor. But the mini line is the whole thing, right? I mean, it's the automatic uncapper, comes down the line, kind of like Ian's horizontal deal, but it only holds 40. Not that I've ever spun 40 frames at a time, ever. Matter of fact, you want to know how much buyer's remorse I have now? I mean, I love my extractor, but I didn't need that one that big, really. Because very rarely when I pull my honey, do I pull more than maybe 2 runs of the extractor at a time, right? And then I'm done. I'm not doing Bruce Jenny.
The one you have will do mediums or deeps.
Mm-hmm.
How many deeps will it do at one spin?
I put 30 in there. It'll fit 30.
It hurt 30 of either.
Mm-hmm. The ends would be kind of tight on the points.
Yeah.
But it'll fit. They'll fit in there. So we'll just see how it goes. Hopefully, matter of fact, I call him my mentee. He got his first hive. He got a Lyson. His mom ordered him a Lyson poly hive, but it's just the single. And then I made her order the feeder to go on it. So I said, well, why do we need that? I said, because they're going to need some feed. And it's much easier just to pull that top off and pour it in the tray and close it back up. And you don't have to mess with it. Oh, okay. So she ordered it right away the same day. So now I got to go back out there. I might take one of my small nukes and pop it in there. Or maybe not too small, but that nuke, I don't know if you heard, I took a 2 frame and put it in a hive that went queenless with them. It had the 2 framer was pretty packed and it had a mated queen in it. So I dropped that in a small colony that was queenless. Well, then the hive beetles took over half the hive and slimed half the comb out. So I took the other 5 frames and dropped them over with the queen, everything, right over top of one swarm that I caught that had been having trouble making a queen. So now they have a queen. And they look like they're doing good, but I haven't been back in them to check. I'm just leaving them alone now. See if they make it. Yeah, that's it. Let me see. Yeah, it comes to 2 buckets. Yep. That's what I found too. I've extracted twice. I've gotten 2 buckets twice. Actually, I've extracted 3 times, but one was just like a few frames spaced out around the extractor.
Is that what?
Yeah, I've only extracted one so far. Just a little bit. Just the 3 that swarmed. I pulled their honey.
What were you saying, Joey?
I said, is that with all deeps or all mediums, 2 buckets?
Pretty much. Well, when you say deeps and when I say deeps, yes, it's a deep frame, but it ain't always deep frame honey. I'll tell you that much. So sometimes the deep is only holding medium frame worth of honey in it.
I know this one right here.
Right.
That's a 19 frame. It'll do. Let's see. 18 frame. It'll do 9 deeps or 18 mediums, or to do 9 mediums and 9 deeps. And I do that sometimes when I got both sizes in the house. And when I do that, I'm gonna run a bucket over with 9 and 9. I'll run a bucket over.
I
watch it.
Like last time I spun out, I think it was 1 deep and 1 medium, and it was 2 bucket mediums. Yeah, so now my extractor is a little, I don't know. I like it. It's big and bulky, and that's fine. But they need to do something. They need to figure something out with these extractors. Every one of them needs to figure something out. How hard is it? I mean, legitimately, how hard is it to have the bottom on one end just 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch tilted down, so all the honey runs to the one corner to go out of the gate? How difficult would that be? I mean, water, if you have water and it's just slightly pointing one direction, it's going to run that way, you know.
Well, that's Hillco's signature extractor. That's the way they build theirs.
Is it sloped like that?
Yeah, their bottom slope.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good feature.
You let it set when you get through extracting. Let it set and leave a bucket there and go away and come back the next morning or whatever, and it'll be drained dry. There may be a little settlement right there in that valve. That'll be about it. No more than 1/2 pound of honey left in it.
I got to take, with mine, it is conical shape on the bottom. But what I end up doing is grabbing that one side and lifting it up and chucking a 2x4 under it to get it to run to one side.
That's the way I used to have to do my old one. I even had a barrel prop where I could prop it up on the table and lean it downward like this and let it drain out over.
I went out there today and I didn't realize how much honey was still left in my extractor after the last time. So I threw that block under it and opened the valve up and probably put that much in the bottom of a 5-gallon pail from last time.
Let's see.
I'm lucky. When I poured my concrete, I got a 2-inch slope over the 40 feet from back to front. So when I hose it out, all the water runs out. And my extractor sits in the very back of my barn, and I have it facing down the slope. So besides it being conical, it's actually sloped a little bit.
There's
so I probably only have that much honey left. I mean, for
it's like 2 inches.
A tenth of a bottle. Probably just 1 ounce or 2 ounces left in it after I get done.
There's probably at least 2-inch drop.
Oh, really?
On this Hillco from the back to the front.
Well, that's
Plus, mine's on a slope, so it's even a little bit more.
James says his holds about 1.5 cups.
Yeah, I'm not even a cup. Quarter of a cup.
I had that. Well, before I bought that one, I just had a. What was it? I think it was a 4 deep, 8 medium, or 8 shallow, little Chinese job. And I mean, it worked. The only problem was it didn't even hold a full box. So, I mean,
Yeah.
probably if I hate to say if I did it again, I would probably, and who knows, maybe I'll find one, somebody getting rid of an old, smaller one. I might pick that up just so if I only have half a box or a box, instead of messing up the big one, use
I
the
don't have
little
any shallow frames. Mediums is my smallest.
Yeah, so I got 2 medium and deep. And I'm trying to go away from the mediums, but boy, that deep box sure is heavy when it's full.
Yeah.
Man,
That's
it's
a
like
good feeling.
lift it off.
85 pounds. That's what I want.
Those things are, yeah, but it's 85 pounds, probably 25 pounds of wax in that thing. I don't know how much wax it is, but it makes, they sure do get heavy.
Who was it? Was it Ian or Bob? One of them two did a study on that, and they found out the average weight of a deep box was 20 pounds.
20 pounds with the comb and frames.
Chrome frames, yeah, dry.
So you're probably getting 5-gallon pail per, if you get all the honey out, right?
Right.
About 5 gallons or so.
So you get looking at 22 to 24 pounds of honey in a deep.
Yeah, I mean, they were pretty heavy today. So we just, except for that last meat, I pulled I think 2 deeps and a medium out of it. And it was maybe 2.5 deeps. I don't know, but it was pretty heavy. And then the medium, it wasn't all the way full. So I just pulled it off and gave him another one back, just took it. So there's too many bees and they were too ticked off and I was just trying to get out of them.
Yeah. Hey, Chris. Hey, George. I posted earlier.
Bob, how much you cheat?
Chris Combs.
Wait, is he asking me how much would I charge to do his uncapping for him? I don't know. I never thought about it. Never thought about doing it. I don't even know what a good price would be on that.
After I get done with all my extracting, a week or 10 days later, I'll have a public one for all the beekeepers that live around me. And I keep the honey and the cappings when we do the uncapping tank. They get everything they spin
Oh, okay. So you get what's in the uncapper when you're done.
when we uncap them. I usually end up with about a bucket of honey.
That's not, I mean, that's, if you look at it, I mean, if you're getting
Tom,
$10.
you might want to check your text over there.
Who, me?
That's what I do.
Tom.
Oh, the drummer, bring this.
You need some moderators in here.
The asylum is live. I went into this new. Oh, listen to this. So, my wife and I both had off, and it's 100 degrees in here, and she didn't want to. We didn't really want her to fire up the oven and cook anything. So I'm like, well, let's just go get something to eat. We'll go down to Applebee's, get the 2 for $20, right, or whatever it is now, 2 for $25 or 2 for $100, whatever it is nowadays. And we went down there. It was $5.03. And they said, well, it's going to be a bit of a wait. We only have one server. I'm like, one server at 5 o'clock? No, we're good. We'll go next door. So we went across to this little smokehouse restaurant for the first time, and boy, was that ever good, man. I had these little what they call them? They were just like jalapenos that had cheese in them and were wrapped in bacon, but they were smoked. Man, them things were so good. There was some good food. A little bit more than Applebee's, but hey, it was worth it. And I saw a Manitoba. They had a Manitoba license plate stuck to the wall. So I tagged Ian in a post on Facebook. It says, Ian, looks like your license plate fell off somewhere in South Carolina, and now it's stuck to the wall here in, at this barbecue restaurant. And his wife posted on there, wow. So 1976 Manitoba license plate. But
my Hilco extractor is only an 8-frame radical, so but it's big enough for what I do.
you had an 8-frame radial.
Yeah,
It's
so
not
I can
that
do
one
8.
that does the little turning of the frame thing, is it? I never did
No.
understand why you would want that. Can someone tell me that? You've seen them, right? The ones that when you turn them, they turn flat. And then you got to turn them, spin it the other way to spin the other side out.
Right, you got to spin everything twice.
That's but I guess, I mean, because it's flat and not this way, I imagine that honey comes out easier, that way. Who knows?
Right.
Who knows with it? But
Who knows?
I left both doors open on the honey house when it started getting dark. And I put those boxes out there from the last time I spun out for them to clean. Next thing you know, I got about 300 bees flying around inside the honey house. They done found the inside of the building. Keith, you got that?
It's getting dark now.
You got that one where the frames turn?
I think Randy McCaffrey's got an old one, like an old 2-framer like that.
He's got a 2-frame that does that?
I seen like
that one.
Seemed like it was Randy.
He showed me that old, what's he got, an old Datan or something in there? The big one that they use.
Oh, yeah. I can't remember. It was years ago. I think I saw him doing that one. I don't know where he might have borrowed that one to do it or something, but it was on one of his videos. That was like 8-10 years ago.
Yeah.
But
that one that he's got is like Brad's, that old one. The older one is like the one Brad's got.
I can't even remember how it done it. It seemed like somehow when he spun it this way and we got ready to change them, it would kind of
they're normally in like that. And then when you spin it, they flip out. And then when you spin it the other way, it flips the other way. Okay, that's more so that's what he's got. A 4-frame tractor. You have to spin each side. That's he said, but I ain't hand cranking, he said. That's it. When I started beekeeping, I said, ain't no way that I'm hand cranking these frames. So I remember sitting on the porch spinning that doggone ice cream maker when I was a kid. That was enough. I'm not spinning nothing if I can help it.
DC said, I very rarely feel envy, but when I see Joey's honey house, I kind of am. It ain't that special. That kind of reminds me, though, of our pastor. He's a big fisherman. And it kind of reminds me of his story. There was this certain brand fishing boat, he always wanted. And he said, and that was what his preaching was all about, was you're not supposed to crave things like that of the world, And
right.
Anyway, he had to have one, and he finally broke down and got one of those boats, whatever name brand it was. So I don't know a whole lot about
a Ranger or something like that.
But he had it for about a year or two, and then all of a sudden, this other brand come out with one fancier and better than that one. They always one a step above.
Right.
And he said, man, if I'd have just waited another year, I could have got that boat instead of this one, you know. And here he goes again with his envy. And he said he'd been fishing all day in the boat he really wanted. And he said he was headed home. He started slowly catching up with another truck pulling a boat. And he said, that's one of them boats that I wish I'd have waited on. And he slowly caught up with it. And when he did, he was passing him. And the name of the boat says, "Don't Be Jealous." That was the name of the boat. Don't be jealous.
That's it. Oh man. Well, you know, everything, it doesn't matter. I just tried to get something that would grow with me a little bit when I bought my stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean, I wish my bees grew with me as much as my stuff did. That's the only problem. I've got all the gear, but every year struggling to get the bees back to where I can even use that equipment effectively, right? Where it's not bouncing all over the place because it's uneven and stuff like that. So, but it's going all right this year. Can't complain.
Well, my cherry picking, I hadn't pulled in a while, 430 pounds. And like I said, I'm not pulling any more till I go take all the boxes off. Me and my wife will go out there and get them all in.
Whatever's left, you just pull it.
Yeah. I would go cherry pick some more, but like I said, the tallow's down. It's not doing anything. So I'm not going to try to empty more out just to make room for nothing, you know.
Nancy said the basswood trees were blooming in her place. They're not blooming at my place, but if they wait till Thursday and start blooming, I'll have a good flow then, because it's not supposed to rain for 7 days. So if I can get 100% basswood flow, I'll get up to my 80 pounds per hive.
Keith, I got 25 right now. They're spread out, but I got them.
Yeah.
So I got I got 17 here. I've got 5 out at the out yard number 1 here, and I've got 2 out at my coworker's place out there.
I have 21 on my property. That's all honey hives.
What's it?
The rest are resource hives and nukes to sell nukes.
I got 1 nuke that it won't grow bigger than a 5 frame 6. Well, actually, it's in a 6 frame license. It won't get any bigger. I put a second 6 frames over it when it started getting full, and it was drawn down. They didn't care about that top box, not at all. And take the top box off, gave it to another hive that was doing better, and just put the lid on that one. I'm like, all right, you're gonna live or die. That's what you're gonna do.
It's time to pinch that queen.
Yeah, I don't have any queen to replace her. So
right. When you do.
That's where I'm at right now, just trying to. It won't be long if the commission starts coming in like it's supposed to. So been struggling along right now without any commissions, and now I'm finally in the call center where I'm working with everybody else. So it's they don't know what's hitting them yet, because the first week of this month I was still in my on the job training class, so we were only taking a few calls a day, and now I'm just killing them. I went from not ranked at all to 44 out of 272 in what is it, the 17th? So in like 9 days, jumped from not ranked to 44th. Just killing them. Because the
Collector Rick, they've done studies after studies after studies. It makes no difference if you're under or over a super on honey collection.
The only time I really under super is if somehow they got some brood into the deep, like the first deep. I'll put some mediums in between and put that deep on top, kind of like a demarray, but without a queen brooder, and then just let that top hatch out. and they'll backfill it.
Right, but that's not undersouping. That's kind of like a modified demery.
Yeah, just without any clean excluders.
Right.
This year, I'm just trying to get them to build up and get strong and healthy. And tell you what, the healthy ones, they're healthy, but boy, are they mean. But I'll take the mean if they live. If they live because they're mean, by God, we'll work with them. I'll just have to get thicker armor on or something. Wear a suit of armor underneath my bee suit or something.
I would say the 5 Corey Stevens queens. I got the VHS queens. I wouldn't call them mean, but they're a little bit more testier than all my other hives. Just a little bit. I got to get the smoke out for them. And my other hives, if I just get into them a little bit, I don't need to really smoke them.
So sometimes if I just open the top and walk off for a little while, the ones that are mean will fly out and they'll fly back in, or they'll fly off and come back. But if I just pop it up and start pulling frames and stuff, nope. And if they see one little crack they can crawl in, they're going to do it. I mean, even in the full suit, there was one little spot right here by the zipper underneath the Velcro, and they still got in there somehow.
Huh.
Matter of fact, I got in the house and I pulled the Velcro. When I pulled the Velcro, I got stung on my finger because there was one underneath the Velcro.
Yeah.
Y'all can't hear my mixer running, can you?
No.
No.
It just kicked on. I didn't know if my mic was picking it up or not.
What you mixing?
Hey Bob, that's how the Corey Stevens hives are. They'll fly out a little bit, but if you just wait a minute and they fly back in, then they're about the same.
I got my creamer's been running nonstop since I got it. Literally since the day I plugged it in and put honey in it, it's been running.
Wow.
And I'll draw some down and mix up a flavor, pour some more honey in the top, and just let it keep doing its thing.
Right.
So,
I got some coffee creamed honey.
I made some of that.
Espresso.
I made some espresso. It was a special. I had taken my sampler to my training class, and they're like, "Ooh, do you have any coffee flavored honey?" I said, "Nope, but I can." So I ordered the espresso off of Amazon, made up a batch, and they started buying it up. So some of them, they'll just take a spoonful of it, and I'm like, "You're going to be wired the rest of the day." A spoonful of espresso.
Now, is that just flavoring, or is that like a instant coffee?
I'll show you what it is. Hold on, let me get it.
The
espresso honey. Okay. Yeah, Collector Rick, you're probably right. Cinnamon won't stop the carpenter ants. They'll stop all the other ants, but not the carpenter ants.
When they come in, you
They
might as well
support
take
right
time to
on.
move it.
This is what I used. I'm not a coffee connoisseur, so I don't know how good it is, but it's a pure espresso powder.
Okay.
It says it's ideal for adding rich and intense coffee flavor to desserts and baked goods. No sugar.
It dissolves good in there.
Mm-hmm.
I might have to try that.
Good.
But the one I got from Jeff Thomas. He comes on the live sometime.
Mm-hmm.
Annabees, I think it's called. But they make all kind of flavors and sell at the farmers markets. And he brought some and gave me a jar of it, and it's good. And all he used was, or she used, was instant coffee.
Oh,
for the
really?
flavor. And just blended that in. It tastes pretty good.
Well, the only thing I can tell you about this, though, is if you have the same temperatures I have. So, what I try to do is when I first mix it, I'll store my jars upside down to make sure that if there is anything that's going to float, it floats to the bottom, and then it solidifies. And then if I turn it back right, I don't have to worry about the stuff floating on top, unless it gets too hot. If my cream honey gets too hot and it gets too softed, you'll start seeing some come to the top. But nobody's complained about it, and they've taken whole teaspoons of it or tablespoons full of it and tried it. So this works pretty good. And I've only used, that much out of, I think it's like right there. Right in here out of my first thing. And I think that made like 15 jars of it or something.
Now, when do you add that flavoring in? As soon as you start making your mix?
What I do is so my creamer's running with plain creamed honey in it.
Yeah.
And then when I'm going to mix a flavor, I'll take that big stainless bowl off of my KitchenAid mixer, and I'll fill it up with creamed honey. Then I'll put it on the mixer and put my flavor in.
Okay, so you just cream a little at a time, different flavors.
Yep. So I can have several different flavors,
Gotcha.
But what I'll do is if I want to make, let's say I wanted to make 2, like 30 jars, like a case of jars, then I'll take the first batch, because I don't measure this stuff out. I just do it and then taste it. Okay, it tastes like coffee to me, and that's kind of how I flavor all my stuff. So what I do is I'll pour it in there, and then I'll pour that in my gated pail, and then I'll go get some more creamed honey and make another batch, and then I'll put all of it in the same bucket, so it's all uniform for the whole batch, right? For the whole piece. So that works for me, I guess, pretty good. Nobody's complained. Nobody's returned anything. I sold all my barbecue sauce. All of that's sold. My honey barbecue sauce I made, all of that's sold. I got to take a runny honey and a lemon honey tomorrow to work for a lady, and sold a couple pints today. But more people are using the Cash App and the credit card than they're paying me cash anymore. So I haven't been able to set my table out because it's been too doggone hot, or it's been raining.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to sit out in 100-degree heat. What's the side chat here?
Is that Bob?
No, I was just looking at the conversation. Brian says he's been cherry picking some frames too. But Lord, what time is it? 9:30. Gonna have to run here in a minute. I gotta make sure.
I don't know how long I'm staying on. Probably just another 15, 20 more minutes. Unless you two want to keep going.
I gotta make sure all my clothes is ready for work tomorrow. Used to be I just get up and throw jeans and a t-shirt on, I was good. Now I gotta wear khakis and a golf shirt and feel like I'm going to church every day to sit. And the stupid part about it is nobody sees us. You have to have a pass to get into the building, and we're in a call center, so all of our customers are on the phone. So what do they care? I could be sitting in boxer shorts. They wouldn't know any different,
Yeah.
But it's the rules.
I was the same way, Bob, when I was doing consulting the last 10 years, technical consulting, software consulting. They couldn't see me.
Right.
I mean, occasionally we'd have a live stream, a conference call or something like that, but that was, one day every 3 months.
Cincinnati is one of the only areas that our company offers 2 gigabyte internet speeds.
Yeah.
Cincinnati and Louisville. and they're starting to get it in Texas a few places. But
What they offer?
2 gigabytes of
Oh,
bandwidth speed.
Yeah, most of Cincinnati's got fiber through all of Cincinnati.
But if you live in somewhere like Kansas City, Missouri, you can guarantee you're going to be having to pay like prepayment. They've been ripped off so many times by people in Kansas City. They're just like, look, if you're in Kansas City, you're just going to pay in front. So,
Right. If I would have done my house over again, I would put fiber in every room. But fiber wasn't big back then, back in early 90s.
right. I can't even get fiber here. Every time I pull it up on the computer and it says fiber location, I'm like, I'm jealous. I can't get it.
Yeah.
I ended up getting what's that lowest speed they got? 100.
Advantage 100 megabits a second.
Yeah, and that's running everything that I can run. I purposely tried to bog it down with 3 TVs and
At the same time, all running at the same time, no problems.
no problems yet.
That's good. That's good.
Upload's pretty fast too.
I ain't trying to sell that package to nobody though. I'm just telling you right now that I ain't trying to sell that one. Well, it's weird because the way they price structure it. So you're probably paying $40 a month for $30 plus $10 for the Wi-Fi router, unless you had your own.
I had my own Wi-Fi.
Okay, so then you're probably paying $30.
I went with that, and it was actually $10 cheaper than the special they had on the. What's the other one they had? 4 or 5?
500.
Yeah, and I also got the TV.
So did you download the app to your TV so you can stream it straight to the TV?
Yeah. One of my televisions wouldn't accept the app, so we went with the
Zumo box.
Zumo box. I like it anyway. I like it better than I do the app.
Have you looked at the Zumo Play app?
Yeah.
That's the one that's got like 500 additional channels.
Oh, yeah, it's got all kind of stuff on it.
Yeah.
You get lost in there trying to pick out what.
Yeah.
It's so gone are the days that the set-top box, right?
Yeah.
Because everybody was trying to cut the cable, and I understand why. Everybody's got smart TVs nowadays and flat panels, and you used to have to pay. And I think some companies still do it, and we do. Some people want the boxes, but they charge $15 a month for the box. Like same thing here. When my mom had it, we had 4 boxes. She's paying like $60 a month just for the boxes to watch the programming she's paying for.
Yeah.
So now
with
you just stream it straight to the TV.
Box and you're done. What is it, like $60? You buy the box.
Yeah, if you buy the Zumo, they should have said. If you get the package, you should have got a free Zumo. Did you get a free one?
It may have been because I chose it because I didn't know any better. And when the guy come, he said, well, all your TVs are smart TVs. You don't really need it. I said, if I don't need it, I don't want it. But the oldest smart TV, which is the biggest one in the living room, for whatever reason, it wouldn't accept the app. It would just keep going back to start. When he was trying to set the app up, we even hard started it and everything. He said, I might have to put that Zumo on this one. So he put it on and everything worked fine. I'm kind of glad it did that because I like it better than I do just watching the other TVs through just Spectrum out.
It is nice. Because it does have it's got 250 apps on it, like your Netflix and all that Prime that you might already be watching. But that Zumo Play, so even if you have a TV package that you're streaming, that Zumo Play gives you 500 more channels.
Yeah.
So it's a good deal.
You wouldn't like what I do.
Oh, you probably
$58 to get my 2G from Ultra
Brian,
Fiber.
it won't do me no good. He can't sell to his friends. They done told
Yeah.
him.
And I run about 3,000 channels for $20 a month, and about 15
You got
countries.
Cody.
I get their TV
You got Cody.
all through the 2G.
I mean, do you have the Cody app? Is that what you're using?
It's kind of a secret organization.
Secret organization. I got you.
Ah,
Well, hey, trust me, I got the jailbroke Fire Stick, and I've got a super box that Todd was talking about. But working at Spectrum, I get it for free. So why not use their use theirs? You know.
Yeah, I run it through a 4K Fire Stick, but there's a server farm that's got every TV station in the world hooked up to it.
Yeah, I had that jailbroke Fire Stick.
the
Yeah.
only problem I've seen with this new system I got is my power company is WST. That's Washington St. Tammany Electric. And I guess I don't know where Spectrum is getting their main power from for this area to feed, but the next one over, and they kind of mingle in different roads, is Entergy Power, and I guess they must be getting their power from them. 2 different times, Entergy has lost power, and when they lose power, I lose Spectrum.
Huh.
That's happened twice since I got it. One of them was
Wow.
2 or 3 hours, and it works.
Did you get a text notification saying you're experiencing an outage?
Yeah, after my network come back up, I did. But it and I figured that out on my own because it come up went out the same time as Entergy went out, and it come back on the same time. So you would think they would have some kind of backup electricity.
Jason says Spectrum's charged me $89.99 per month in East Tennessee for internet only.
Kurt had a good comment. All those channels, and you watch YouTube.
Yeah. So it sounds like, Jason, with the here's the problem. First of all, it's internet only, right? So the way Spectrum works, we don't have any contracts. So they try to bundle your services together to lock the prices in for a longer period of time, even though it's not a commitment. If you only have internet only, it was a 1-year commitment. So after 12 months, that $70 gigabit internet you got went up to 85. So it's probably the 85 in tax. What I would do, there's nobody from Spectrum watching this, I hope. But what I would do is if you have a spouse, I would put in a disconnect order for your location on like the, I don't know, today's the 17th. I would say tomorrow will be the 18th. If you call early, tell them you want to disconnect it. You're moving. And then you put in a disconnect for the, 2 days down the road, 3 days down the road. Then later on that day, after that's done, you have your wife call in and do a connection for the same day, like the 19th, hypothetically. And that way her new equipment will be there on the 19th and yours will be disconnected on the 19th. The only hassle is you have to take that box back to a UPS store or a Spectrum location to turn it in because she's going to get new equipment. And that way she will qualify for new customer pricing and all the promotions. So if you want to get the best deal, what you would do, first of all, there's a couple things. I very rarely sell just internet only because if you get the gigabit internet and just the lowest streaming service we have, your bill would be $80, but it would be $80 guaranteed for 2 years. And you would get one free line of cell phone for a year. So you could save your entire cell phone bill on at least one bill. And if you wanted to bring over multiple, they would only be $30 a line after that. So you could definitely save some money that way. But if Joey went with do you remember which package you got?
On the TV?
Mm-hmm. Signature.
It was, the first one was Stream, and the next one is what's it
Choice.
called?
Did you have to pick like 15 channels or something like that?
Well, it had local channels on the second choice, whatever that was.
You might have got Select. Well, do you remember how much it was?
That sounds
Together.
familiar. I seem like together $120 maybe, or 100. The first payment's like 180 because I told them I wanted to pay outright for the Zumo box.
So you probably got Advantage, Internet, and then Signature Select. So did they give you all the free apps and all that, Disney and so you got Signature Select. So that's the other way. If you go with the bigger package, a lot of people are paying for Paramount, Disney Plus, AMC, ESPN Plus, HBO Max, Stars, VIX, and I'm probably missing one because I'm not reading it off my paper that I have sitting on my desk. But they give you those for free. So you can save. I've literally taken people that you'd be surprised. I had one guy had, I think it was Frontier Internet, and he also had Starlink as a backup because his wife worked from home.
I have Select.
Yeah, the Select. And then he was paying for his TV another $120. So he was paying $240 for the Starlink and the TV that he had in Dish Network. And then he had another one that he was paying about $80 a month for the internet for his wife. And he basically got everything for half the price that he was paying. So,
that's been a big complaint with AT&T all the time. They never give good prices to their
existing customers. They never do.
I've been an existing customer with AT&T and DirecTV for 30 plus years. Mm-hmm. And nobody does. They'll give a newcomer a special price. Mm-hmm. They won't do a thing for me. I called them, and I finally just called DirecTV and told them, turn me off. And they took me from $160 to $60. I said, I'll try it for a month and see if I like it.
Yeah, it's one of those things. All of the companies do that. The difference is with cell phone companies, when you buy a new phone, they got you locked in for like 3 years, right? Yeah. Or they give you a phone if you stay with them for 3 years. So it's like they keep you locked in. And so that's one of the draw. I fight it all the time. I mean, I had a guy, he called up Raisin Sand yesterday, and he said, man, our bill keeps going up. And I pulled up the account, and I said, well, this isn't your name on the account. He said, yeah, that's my brother. He doesn't even live here anymore. I said, say less. When did he move? Oh, tomorrow? He's moving tomorrow? He's out here. Let me put in a disconnect for that, and I'll give you the exact same services on the new customer and ship it out. Now, probably I'll get in trouble if Spectrum listens to that one and says, what are you doing, man? You can't do that. Well, he said the guy was gone. So if he don't live there, they're not going to pay his bill. They want his service. So I signed him up. So we'll see how it works. But, it's like that for all of them. I mean, it's the same way. And the bad thing is then customers just bounce, right? They bounce from here. They'll go over there. Oh, well, my year of free move. So I'm going to move over to T-Mobile because T-Mobile is giving away iPhone 16s, but you got to sign a 4-year commitment to stay with them. It's like, that's dumb. You could just order the phone and, Spectrum doesn't put any interest on it and, do it that way if you want to. But we do have some of the cheapest cell phone rates around. I'm on it here, but if you're paying more than about $30 a month for your cell phone, you're paying too much. But again, you can't just buy Spectrum cell phone service. You got to be a customer to do it. What are you doing, Tom?
How do they make that work? It bounces it off everybody's towers?
We use Verizon's. We're contracted with Verizon to use their towers.
Okay.
But the difference is when I come in my house, my phone no longer is operating off the cell tower. It operates off my Wi-Fi.
Okay.
So when I call from inside the house, I'm connected to my Wi-Fi. It's like a Wi-Fi call. I don't know how they do it, but it's crystal clear inside where had AT&T.
Most of the towers, AT&T and Verizon don't own. They rent them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But last not even 10 years, 5 years, both companies been buying cell towers, or when they build them, they've been building them. But most of them are all rented. That's why you got all these new cell companies, because they can rent from the same towers.
You'd be surprised how many times I hear someone like you just said, Joey, I've been with AT&T for years and years and years, and I don't want to change. And I asked them, what has AT&T done for you lately?
Yeah.
Right? Are they giving you a special deal or something because you've been there?
I fired AT&T off my phones. I went to Verizon several years ago, and the reason I did, out here where I live, 10 years ago maybe, AT&T phones wouldn't work out here. Verizon would. Full service. Well, now that's changed because AT&T has got new towers out here. They got one that's 2 miles through the woods here.
Right.
And the Verizon ones are blocked by trees now. So AT&T better now than Verizon.
Here's the other thing that happens, and I don't know how they do it, but they say it doesn't. There's no security issue. If I came to your house, Joey, and I walked in your house, my phone would automatically connect to your Wi-Fi. You wouldn't have to give me any passwords or anything. It's like its own separate channel.
Yeah.
That they run through the network. And there's they say there's almost 5 million hotspots in the US that, let's say you go downtown and the business has Wi-Fi and you walk in, you're no longer using your cell phone data, you're using Wi-Fi. So,
that's even if you don't have Spectrum's Wi-Fi. You had your own Wi-Fi.
You got Spectrum's internet service. You got
it.
Well, I don't know if you're using a different router, but it's still Spectrum internet service. So that might be different in your case. But if someone comes here and they have Spectrum, they'll be hooked in. Yeah, I'm not doing bad. I mean, for really the first week of this month, I was still an OJT, and I'm like 44th in the whole call center. So I feel pretty good about that. Supposedly right now, my commission check that'll come in 2 months is around $2,000. So we'll see if it stays there, if it gets bigger, if it gets lower, because I don't actually get credit for my sale till the service is activated. So let's say I sold Joey's cell phone service. Yeah, it looked good on my numbers in the office that day, but until Joey activates his phone on the network, I don't get paid for it. So it's always a constant struggle, but it is. I like the service. I actually had their cell phone service before I started working there, and I had Cricket before, and it was cheaper than Cricket. So we moved over because I got one free line.
Joey, I'm going to shut this down at 10 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, good time. Good timing.
Yeah, 2 hours is enough. Especially when I wasn't even planning on being live today.
I've talked to people about Brian out in Colorado. I've had some people from Colorado calling into Spectrum. I get a lot of California, Texas, Wisconsin, Missouri, Ohio. I get a lot of people from Ohio as well.
Yeah, Ohio is mostly Spectrum.
And
I used them before
when COVID hit, the government realized, because everybody was going home to work, and there's a lot of rural areas where they didn't have internet out there. So the government started funding, they call it EPON, It's like a rural expansion program. So now there's people out in the middle of a farmer field that get 2 gig internet, and I'm right here close to the city. I can't get fiber right here. So that's but you know, for the price, if you got to call Spectrum, you're gonna ask for me. I've had people from I have had people call me from Wyoming and Montana. A lot of people. I've signed up, like someone's got a camper like you, Joey, that you pull behind that they've set up for a season.
Yeah.
At a campground or at like one guy was building a house, but he already had the power pole and he just pulled his camper out there while he was the house was getting built. I got him cable to his trailer, to his RV, right out to his.
Really?
Yeah. As long as it's an address that's in the U.S. Postal Service database. So
they need to make one that's remote. If they work off the towers, they need to make one that's remote for people that do RVs a lot.
Like the hotspot?
Similar, yeah.
They should. I imagine it'll come eventually. But right now, I mean, we don't even offer like cell phone service to, if you don't have our internet, you can't get it. Matter of fact, I can't even, like, I had a lady call me up just wanting home phone. That's all she wanted was home phone. Well, you got to have internet because all of our home phone comes through the internet, right?
That's what they told my mother. She said, I just want a telephone. And then my cousin right behind her got television. He liked it. She said, well, I might get TV too. So when the guy called her back, she said, I just want the telephone and TV. I don't want internet. He said, you got to have internet to get it.
Right.
Her price is cheap, like $120 a month or something like that.
Yep.
And they wasn't actually supposed to give her a Wi-Fi, but they did. She said, I'll just keep it because a couple of her nieces stay with her all the time and they always want Wi-Fi. She said, I'll just keep it for them. $10 more a month for theirs. So I said, well,
I do have a fiber tap in my front yard from True Vista. It's right in the front yard. And I don't get it because I get free food Spectrum. But I mean, I got a gigabyte service and it's only me and my wife. So even on this computer, if I'm gaming, I can still get over 800 megabits a second download to my computer right here. So it's plenty fast enough.
Yeah, it's fast.
So it's just, I look at it more like 100 megabits is kind of like a 2-lane road. 500 is kind of like 4-lane road. And gigabit is more like a highway with 4 or 5 lanes wide on both sides, right? Bandwidth.
Autobahn.
The Autobahn. So like, the reason I said I don't sell a lot of the Advantage because the Advantage with Wi-Fi is typically $40. And for 500 is the Premier for 500 megabits. And that's $50 plus $10 for the Wi-Fi, which is $60, right? So then you go to gig and it's $70 with the Wi-Fi. So why would I get 500 for $10 less than I can get a gig? Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So, but it's good service. I like it. And the company is, it's pretty chill. I go in, my desk is against the wall, like on the far end. I go in, clock in, get on the phone, clock out for my breaks. Nobody says anything as long as, well, she doesn't have anything to complain about because I'm selling. If I wasn't selling, then she might have an issue. But right now, everything's going pretty good over there at the new job. Other than my days off are like this. But I guess a break. So I work 2 days on, 1 day off, 3 days on, 1 day off. So it's kind of tedious that way, but other than that, it's pretty good. Let's see.
All right. I think it's a good time to knock it off.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, I'm glad I got to come spend time with you, Tom and Joey.
Yeah, it's always good, Bob. How many Tuesdays do you think you're going to be doing?
Well, I was going to try to do every Tuesday, but I got to get this honey. And the only time I can get the honey is on Saturdays and Tuesdays. And if Saturday's raining, the only time I can get it is on Tuesdays. So since I don't have
give you my phone number, and you can text me ahead of time if you think you're doing on Tuesday or not.
All right. Well, you
I
put
told
it
him that too, Tom, way back. He did it
you
one
put
time.
you put it in the comments. Everybody, you just doxed yourself. Everybody's got your phone number now, Tom.
That's fine. It's a public number.
Oops, hold on.
I can block them anyway on my phone if I want to.
Oh, the only way you're gonna get rid of that now is to delete this video.
It's not us you got to worry about. It's those guys that overseas that pop in.
Yeah. You got it, Bob?
I already had you in my phone.
I thought you did.
He's not gonna call you. I told him to call me. He did it
he
one
just
time.
called
He
me.
said, "Can you do the live tonight?" I said, "Sure," and that was it.
Oh
One
man!
time with me, one time with Brad, and then he just forgot to do it.
All right.
All right,
I'll
guys.
see everybody tomorrow with Nancy and I. 7 o'clock.
Good night,
Y'all have a
everybody.
good evening.
Everybody have a good evening, night.
All right. Good night.